to...
Engage drive! Direct order!
Do it! We're clear!
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out Starship Apocalypse. And this 2014 film was directed by Neil Johnson and stars Darren Jacobs, Brooke Louise Bellis, and Christina Moses, among others, of course. So the story of this movie follows the events of the previous movie, Starship Rising, I think it's called. I think I watched that a few weeks ago. And so this one is just like the sequel to it. And so it's about this, Starship crew as they are trying to take on the Space Emperor. Or is he called the Space Emperor? I think he is. And so they are trying to track him down and, get him to stop, all of his oppression and whatnot. Along the way, there's many different subplots and lots of stuff happens. But what will happen exactly? Well, you have to watch the movie and find out. All right, so let's discuss this movie. Well, it is a sequel, like I said. And I don't think you need to see the first one in order to understand this one. They have like a little bit of an explanation. It would actually probably be better if you didn't see the first one because I had some problems with that one with, characters switching sides and that type of stuff. Whereas this one, everyone's on the same side, so there's no kind of switching at all. And so if that was, something in the back of your mind with the first one, it's just eliminated in this one. You have to, accept what switches happened in the first one. But again, you don't have to see the first one. And so that, I guess, is good. It is a space opera as well. So lots of different things happen with the Space Emperor and his virus bomb and then other bombs and all this, stuff that is put in there. And it makes it for, an entertaining enough watch where lots of stuff is happening. You don't always, agree or follow along with everything, but it is packed full of kind of sci-fi plots and that type of stuff. So if that's what you're looking for, yeah, you'll probably enjoy it. In addition, I thought there was one pretty cool sci-fi idea, and that has to do with this android. And I guess there's like lots of robots and stuff in this world, but they all have their consciousness, limited. However, this one robot has unlimited consciousness, so he can actually divide his consciousness into 4 different locations. He has like his body, 2 different ships, and then the base back home. And so he is in all of these different places at the same time. So it's kind of funny how it works out. He'll just like stop for a second. It's like, oh, I just had to do something on this ship or whatnot. And so I thought that was a pretty good idea. Definitely, helped you go along with it, think about it, and add some kind of intrigue into this character. So all of that kind of worked. Also, just like the first one, the CGI is decent. The sets are decent. I think it's mostly like green screen, but it's all, incorporated pretty well. Same with the costumes. The costumes look good. Of course, they're not, always the best, but all of the costumes definitely work for what they are. So yeah, all of that kind of technical aspect, pretty good. And lastly, I think this is an improvement over the first one, however slight it is. I think with this one, the characters are more consistent, which is, good if you're trying to really follow along. And of course, there's other issues with it, but I do think it is a little bit better. And it does actually have a conclusion. So that was a big complaint I had with the first one. So if you are looking for, the continuation, the conclusion, you will get it in this one. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, it's all the same issues as the first one. There's just way too many things that happen. Like they have so many different plot points and so many different things that just happen out of the blue. I don't know what's going on with it. It's kind of a mess of a story when you think about it. With this one, they also just kind of like skip over things. And if you're not really paying attention, you won't notice it as much. But, I like to pay attention to these things. So, for example, they have this one friend and she's like, trapped in some prison or something on this planet. And they're going there to save her, but they just kind of like fly over the planet and then they save her off screen. And then the next scene, they just kind of like pull her onto the deck. And it's just so silly that way. So there's just way too much stuff that happens that makes it pretty convoluted, but at the same time, I do think it's a little bit more straightforward than the first one. They definitely have like an end goal in mind that they're really working towards and really kind of pushing towards. And so that is an improvement, but at the same time, that issue is still there. So it is what it is. What else can I say? I don't know, really that kind of convoluted story is going to be the biggest hurdle for people. If you are enjoying that, just things happening, you'll probably really enjoy this one. But for me, like, I just had to give up trying to understand what's going on and just kind of go with the flow. And that, definitely hurts the audience. I think with this one, like, my eyes were like closing by the end because I really didn't care anymore what was happening because I couldn't follow it, right? So that is definitely the biggest issue. So who would I recommend this movie for? Well, just like the first one, I think if you like bad sci-fi films, then this should be up your alley, especially if you've checked out the first one. If that's not you, definitely stay away. So yeah, take that into consideration. As for rating, I have to give it the mildly interesting score of 3.4. That's the same score as I gave the first one. And again, I think they have like a 2 on IMDb, so it could be much lower. But if you are into that, bad sci-fi genre, it might be something interesting to you. Again, it's convoluted mess when it comes down to it, but at the same time, sometimes that can be fun, right? So it is really up to you. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.